Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Radio Show, a once proud member of the now defunct Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Prolific filmmaker Henrik Kuto is in as guest co-host. We talk with Indianapolis comic Ray Hensley. We talk comedy, film, and dinosaurs, just to name a few things. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Sometimes I leave the sound check in if it's fun, but that was just...
That was not a good one at all.
That was a lame... lame sound check.
I mean, I heard them, but I didn't hear them.
Check.
All right.
During my sound check, I'm always like really quiet, and then
then
I start screaming into the mic after.
Perfect. That's
just
actually
to mess
what we
up
like.
The whole podcast.
Have you listened to this one before? Of course you haven't.
I have not. I'm not your only listener.
Right.
I had a friend who was in a metal band, and he did both the growling vocals and the backing melody. So his mic check was always really, really funny because he would. I can't growl, but he would literally go, "You are my shining star," and then he would just like go all the way up to the roar. And then when he was done, he'd be like to the sound guy, he'd be like, "So that's what you can expect."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Okay, I'll do my best."
Yeah.
Just stressing out the sound guy over there. I used to be a screamer for a band for a while. I was.
That was in the green room, though. That was.
Yeah. No, in the green room I was a sweater. But...
Yeah, his mouth was too busy for the screaming.
You're
I guess.
A sweater no matter where you are, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll leave some of the sound check.
Well, it got better
because I've been recording.
Once you set the expectation,
exactly. Yeah, you guys didn't know you were on already, so.
No, I like those kind of podcasts. I don't like the ones where there's like, all right, and we're going to start now. 3, 2, and it's like a pressure. Like,
hey, everybody!
Just randomly start recording, and let's just match. Let's just whatever
happens.
Well,
yeah,
happens.
that's one of my. That's what I used to do to Charlie all the time. Is I would, when she was recording with me, I would start recording like 5 minutes before I would tell her. Mm-hmm. You got some great footage that way.
Get the truth.
Some great tracks. Like, perfect.
Just catching anybody just unfiltered and not thinking and just talking.
Yeah, and then I just go, hey, welcome to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, and that's how we're starting today. So here we are.
I mean, that works. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would surprise her. You guys kind of saw that coming. That was
there wasn't.
Yeah, it was. I projected a little. It's okay.
Did you get all the check stuff?
Definitely.
You should definitely keep that in.
Yeah.
You counted all the way up to 13, I think.
Oh yeah,
just auto-tune it.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
That'd be good.
Yeah, we'll go all over.
Or just goes higher as you go up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, we're off to a flying start. Anyway, sitting in the studio. We're not in the studio. We're actually in Wiley's showroom. We're not live on WWSU today. So if we want, we can cuss because this will go just out on a podcast.
Rad.
But, it may. I mean, it depends. It depends. If I have to filter out a lot of profanity, which is most of my life. Anyway, my co-host for the day is the very prolific filmmaker in Dayton, Henrik Kuto.
Yes, I know, right? You know, and I just had a movie come out in Walmart, and I had 2 movies, but one as a director, and it was great because there were people who thought that was my first. And that was number 16.
Right. Well, plus the TV series. That came out,
the series hit Amazon Prime in October. It's still hanging out on Prime, doing its thing. But it was funny. I finally got that feeling that people describe where you get to be the overnight success that took 15 years.
Right.
I was like, oh, sweet. All right.
Because you have Ouija Room?
Ouija Room, which I directed, and then The Girl in the Crawl Space, which I produced, which actually came out the same day in Walmart and Family Video.
Nice.
And yada, yada, yada. So, but I mean, I can plug more later, but hi.
How's it going? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. And I'm thrilled to be back, and I'm even more thrilled when I realized we was going to be at Wiley's, because that's a solid 20 minutes closer to my house than the old place. So that was even better.
Yeah, well, I record here on Saturdays sometimes. I've been working with a publicist that's like getting me all kinds of his clients. So I'm
cool.
Instead of doing where I was doing 2 episodes a week, I actually added a 3rd episode each week. So now the show comes out on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays.
Nice,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so this might come out eventually. I don't know. Anyway, our first guest is in already. Ray Hensley.
Hello.
From that's such an exciting interest. Hello.
I just woke up. It's fine.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's a comedian lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did too. This is a
early.
gravy stain on my shirt, by the way. I just shoved down some crappy gravy, biscuits and gravy, and came right in to record.
I mean, that's the way it's done. You got to
You
have
get
that.
crappy biscuits and gravy at the gas station?
Frisch's.
Oh, I
With
didn't-
all the
One
rest
step
of,
above
yeah.
a gas station.
Right, which it's like the gas station when you don't have a car. It's
Better-
like you take the bus there. and then
Better
you can-
food, worse service.
Oh
at
yeah,
Frisch's.
definitely.
It definitely gets cold in your
Yeah,
bike.
we
doesn't it?
sat there probably 20 minutes. I was like, if we don't get coffee soon, we're going to go somewhere else because it's just really slow.
I don't think we have those
Really
in
slow.
Indiana.
They're
Really?
big boy restaurants.
The big boys?
Here,
Yeah,
here they're
yeah.
Frisch's big boy, but like
Yeah, they're like
in California,
Bob's
it's
Big Boy,
Bob's,
yeah.
and yeah. So
I don't think we have them in Indianapolis.
We'll get some.
No.
I mean, it'll take a while
yeah,
because
if
the
you-
service
if you
is
got the
slow,
time
but
to
you
wait.
get,
I mean, they got tater tots. That's really what they should just put on the billboard. We have tater tots. And then
do they have tater? I've
They,
never.
what
I
is
guess
wrong
they
with
do.
you? Well, I mean, if you're willing to wait.
Well, I like their spicy spuds. You know, it's just sometimes
Yeah.
I don't have the patience for them.
I live like 5 blocks from one, and I gave up on it a while back because I waited too long.
Yeah. This one's right by my house too, and it's like, every now and then. So has it gotten any better? No. We go there on Sunday morning every now and then. It's not as bad because we have nowhere to be. If you have somewhere to go, don't go there first.
Oh yeah.
You'd
They
be
accept
better off
DoorDash,
with-
and I have a friend who's a DoorDasher and said that it's like the worst experience ever because you're sitting
I
there
can
waiting,
imagine,
and they come
yeah.
out and tell you it'll be 5 minutes, and it's like 25, 30 minutes, and you're punching into the app like how long it'll take to let the customer know.
Yeah. We're never getting them as a sponsor now.
It's never gonna happen.
I don't think they could afford you guys anyway.
That's true. That is true. That is true. Have you seen my credits? Ray and I were discussing that before we came in that he needs more credits.
Oh yeah.
So because
You ever need an
nobody gives him any credit.
Nobody does.
No.
Is he happy to give you my card afterwards? You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always doing something.
So, yeah. See, we're matchmaking here.
Yeah, it's just cute.
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's
Director
romantic.
number 1. It's like one of those shows.
Right. So, what's been happening with you, Ray? It's been a little while since you've been on before. You've been on before, but it's been
I was on the actual
year and a
radio
half.
show.
Yeah, you were on the actual radio show.
Yeah.
And you've gotten demoted down to just the podcast version.
Now I don't even get to go in the studio. I get to go to the place I work on weekends.
Right.
No, everything's been going great. Comedy's been fantastic. I've been full time on the road for the last 2 years.
Nice.
Just doing that, and I love it. I love it. I don't know. Like you've been around comedy long enough to know that you've met a lot of miserable people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Miserable
In fact,
comedians
and myself,
doing comedy.
I've
especially.
never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
Miserable comedians.
Oh.
I don't understand that mentality at all. I don't understand how you could come here doing something that you love and get off stage just going, let's go get drunk.
Well, the tricky thing
I
is,
love it. I like to get drunk because I like to get
It
drunk.
depends on what you're talking about.
Well,
up
the
there.
tricky thing is, dream jobs are tricky because dreams and nightmares are basically the same goddamn thing.
Right,
Same.
right.
So, I mean, there are days because I make movies for a living, and it's my biggest dream in the world. I've done it for 5 years, but there are some days it blows so bad. But I'm still fortunate,
No, exactly. I've bombed whole weekends before, but still get off stage just going, all right,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing.
Oh yeah, you could be working at the phone company,
Yeah.
but you're not, and that's literally what I tell myself in the
That's
morning
true,
sometimes.
Isn't that where you work?
Phone company? No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, I'd never know what you do. I know you got a truck.
It's a
with ladder
secret.
on it.
I'm not telling.
It's
I don't.
oh my gosh.
I don't want to talk about my real
your phone
world
off,
in
Don.
here. That's not my phone.
that's definitely
That's
coming from you.
Yeah, I think that's somebody's in your pocket whistling.
Almost silenced myself.
I don't know
Professional comedian with
why.
their phone
Absolutely,
on.
absolutely.
Don't worry about it.
Didn't
I had
even
to turn
happen.
this sound up so I could wake up for this.
That's fair.
I forgot to turn it back off.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll allow it this time, as long as you're not like an audience member or anything.
No.
As long as your phone doesn't start ringing while you're on stage, that would be.
Hello?
Yeah, you'd have to.
Yeah, I
answer
can
it,
talk.
yeah.
What's up?
No, I'm not busy at all.
I'm not busy at all. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back.
That's a solid piece of work to do. If you accidentally did, that's great. For
Yeah.
the whole audience. You can just turn away from the crowd with your finger up.
Didn't Gaffigan do that, but with like his finger? Like he did it like with the finger phone?
Yeah, I think
like,
you're
"Hello?"
right. Yeah.
No, you hang up. Now I can talk. What's up? Yeah.
That makes me think of like old school Mitch Hedberg. Like he would pick up the phone and then face away from the audience and then just stay away, like talking on the phone for longer than you could stand until people were laughing because they were annoyed. I love when I love the way he used to push it and push it and push it.
Sometimes that's fun.
It's a fine line. It takes balls to try to do that.
It definitely does. So you're going to be with the World Series of Comedy again this year?
I am. Yeah. I'm doing the Vegas satellite. I'm doing the Las Vegas satellite next weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, which would be a lot of fun. The World Series of Comedy is fantastic. It's like a traveling festival, and they have 40 feature-level comics, 40 feature-level and up comics, and they just go out there and they just mingle and hang out, and they just perform at the clubs, and it's pretty cool. I've gotten a lot of work off the World Series of Comedy.
That's good. I was disqualified from it. So
you were for what? For what?
Oh, because I owned a club. Which I thought that was kind of crap, but
I get your club, but why?
I get if I was competing here, that would make sense.
See, maybe if you owned like a regional chain of clubs, I could see that being disqualifying.
Yeah. But that's okay. That's okay.
Well, you just didn't bribe the right person. That's why they were mad. They're like, if you own a club, where's the grease money? That's
were you trying to get
I own
in
a
for
club.
free?
There is none. That's it. Just blew up in the cooler earlier. And the rest of it got taken by PNC Bank. So that's what I've been dealing. I had to deal with the bank for about 3 hours for a $3,000 check that never should have been cashed.
Oh, that's fun.
And was never endorsed and was put into an account that did not belong to the person it was written to.
That is just high five all the way around.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, with a different bank.
The exciting.
So I have
world
two banks. One stole my money, and the other one said, "Yeah, go ahead." One condoned it, and the other one said, "Thank you, I'll take it."
If you're suggesting that banks are untrustworthy or incompetent,
banks
simply cannot. I may have to leave. I don't know.
I won't say that they're incompetent. They do a great job. They are the new organized crime. That's they're not that new.
They're legal. They're legalized crime. No, I used to work for my dad doing construction, and my dad has the same name as me, so I'm like Raymond Hensley II. And on our checks
of the Indianapolis Hensleys.
Gotcha. Yes. My dad doesn't like Junior, so he named me the second, which is super fun to explain all the time. But on my paycheck, because me and my dad worked the same, so his was Raymond Hensley, and I was Raymond Hensley II, and that was written on my check. Well, I went to my bank one day, and I tried to cash my check, and they were like, this, and I handed them my ID, and they were like, this doesn't match. Like, we can't cash this check. I'm like, what? They go, well, there's no 2 on your driver's license. I'm like,
really?
I'm like, do I look like I'm old enough to have a son that makes that kind of money? And then
that's how they're
it was a pain in the ass, but they'll cash your $3,000 check for
without contacting me and say, is this okay?
Yeah.
Which is odd because they held a rent check up once because my signature didn't look like a signature on a previous check. But they won't tell me when somebody endorses a check or doesn't endorse a check and goes ahead. Anyway.
Well, look, if
they were
consistent, you know what to expect. It's all right. I've been arguing for 2 weeks with AT&T,
let it out, bud.
so I'm with you.
Yeah,
this is called the Life Radio.
Everybody's
podcast.
out to screw you.
No, this is called the Life Radio podcast.
Yeah,
let it out. This is
that's
part of life,
every
bro.
part of life that we'll talk about it on here.
My credit score is currently falling.
I expect that.
I'm
You're a full-time comedian. I expect the putting on weight's different because how do you afford food?
I can afford food. It's just dollar menu.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I ate at Frisch's earlier, so that's pretty much
none of us
you ate crappy biscuits and gravy, and you're giving me a hard time.
Well, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
If we're going to talk about food, I should say I went to Hardee's this morning, and they have a breakfast sandwich that is bacon and a little bit of egg, but then it's a patty of hash brown with cheese in the middle of the hash brown.
So it's health food.
We've peaked as a race, and I welcome the asteroid after eating it. It was delicious, but like if it didn't have bacon on it, it would solve the Middle East. That would be it. It would just the Palestinians and the Israelites.
So
would all come
Hardee's
together
has the answer to peace, is what world peace can be achieved through baconless.
If they could just make it kosher.
Yeah.
So, but I felt like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the garbage I ate this morning was
Okay.
exquisite garbage. Highly recommend it because I know
we're-
you'll be out there seeing Hardee's at breakfast time a couple times in the next few weeks.
Yeah. I love Hardee's. I'm not
There
gonna
we
lie to
go,
you.
there we go.
I love
So
Hardee's.
Really good
we
breakfast
all
food,
ate
too.
crap today. That's awesome.
It's
Did
the
you eat
weekend.
crap? Right. Yeah,
You know,
that's
well,
true.
For me,
that's true.
it's yeah.
I ate crap yesterday. I got into town yesterday at like 4:00. Checked into my hotel. Then I was like, I'm hungry, so I went to Wendy's.
Oh yeah, that's
There's stuff around my hotel that we don't have in Indianapolis, and I was like, let's go to Wendy's.
right. Right. I've heard of this place.
Yeah.
Well, and that was it was romantic because it was Valentine's Day, so you spent it with Wendy. You know?
Right.
Oh
right,
yeah,
right,
that's
right.
true. Yeah.
Man, I'm
I
envious.
spent it with
of
a
you.
little redheaded girl with pigtails.
I'm envious. You get to spend Valentine's Day in Dayton, Ohio, in a hotel room
By myself. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
That is.
I
yeah,
brought my
that's-
socks, so. Huh?
Okay,
Well,
good.
there you go. There you go. That's
The road sock.
romance is in the air, right?
Yeah.
And in your sock.
I've been feeling. I don't know. But
Dim the lights in that hotel room. Just, you had a good time.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And then I came to the show without washing my hands and shook your hand. So,
Perfect. I will burn that microphone when you're done. Yeah.
we can dunk
Do
it
that
in-
again. Do that.
Yeah,
There's no
dunk it in
video in this,
Purell,
but it
so.
was perfect. So where were we? World Series of Comedy. I think that's where we.
Yeah.
That's where we got off track. That's
The World Series of Comedy. Yeah, I'm planning on doing a couple of them this year. They have one in Kansas City this year that I'm going to do. They have one in Ohio somewhere. Youngstown, Ohio?
yeah. I think there was
Youngstown,
one in
Ohio. I'm going to try to
Youngstown.
do that one this year.
Or Akron.
It's
Somewhere up there.
Youngstown.
Somewhere up
it
in
wasn't
that
Akron,
direction,
But yeah,
yeah.
it's way far away
Yeah.
from me.
That's okay.
But yeah, no. But last year I went out and did. I did a Sarasota one last year. I ended up getting a weekend of work off of that one.
Nice.
And then I got all kinds of just work off of it. It's awesome. Like the World Series is awesome. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I went as an industry and as a judge to the main event the year before,
Last
and
year.
it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
I love it. Yeah, the main event every year is there's 101 comics that are there, and we're all at a casino just getting drunk and just. But they have classes during the day and then shows every night.
Wow.
And you're just and it's fantastic. And they whittle it all the way down to the top 3 comics. And the top 3 comics they're supposed to get like a whole bunch of work and all this other stuff. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
It's like a very self-deprecating Hunger Games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
No, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like
That's awesome.
Like I've met so many amazing comics like all over the country that now I can go pretty much anywhere and be like, hey, I'm coming to Arkansas. Find me a couple shows and then can I crash on your couch? And they're like, heck yeah, let's do that. And then so I mean, there's just people I know everywhere now because
Phenomenal
of that.
networking. That's awesome.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some people that go into it like I got to win this competition. I got to win it. It's like no, that's not the point of it. The point of it's to go there and meet
Right. You're
comics that are on your
networking,
level
that's-
who want to work, who want to be comedians because you
Now,
meet.
The main reason I entered it last year is I'd been doing comedy for about 5 years at the time, 4.5, 5 years, and I had never actually performed outside of the state of Ohio.
Right.
Because, well, part of it is I'm manacled to this place, but that's a big part of it. But I had never gotten out of state to perform comedy, so I did that, and I did get to do Zanies in St. Charles, Illinois, Illinois before I was told I couldn't do anymore. I'm guessing it's no. I was told it was because I own a club, but it could have been. Yeah, that wasn't
That
it.
wasn't
That was
it. No.
they saw me and said, "We can't do this.
We
again."
messed up.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be here.
We shouldn't. We
We've
gave
all
him a
made a
chance
terrible
because he
mistake.
owned a club. Tell him it's because he owned a club.
Yeah.
He can't do anymore.
Yeah. No, he's trash. So.
Yeah, this is garbage. This is a hot mess.
But no, and that's a great attitude though to have because I'm not a particularly competitive person. In working in film, there are film festivals and garbage like that. I'm
Right.
not a huge fan of those. But people who get obsessed with like winning competitions are really like small picture.
Right.
No, for sure.
The big picture
for
is
sure.
to end up with like friends in 5 new states and have and be able to talk
Right.
to them about doing shows. I always try to explain to people when they ask like why I don't chase after film festivals, I'm always like, well, I'm much more interested in like, could I meet a distributor who's going to get my movie out so people could watch it?
Right.
Because that'll actually maybe pay my bills. That'll actually maybe get me somewhere.
Right.
So I think that's a great attitude that you're like, yeah, it'd be cool to win. Whoops, if you did.
I mean, I've got a handful of trophies because I have one. But I mean, it's not why I'm there though. I do, but it's they're second place trophies. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
Yeah,
really? Second? That high?
Yeah.
That's shocking.
There
were two people.
2 steps above participation.
There was low competition. It was just me, and they still gave me a second place.
Okay. Yeah, you lost to no one.
I lost
perfect
2 before I even got my opening. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even let you go on stage.
They're like,
just
this
handed
next
it to you,
comic,
said,
they started booing
just,
immediately.
You lost to the card game in the venue before it opened.
That's right. Yeah. The wait staff. I lost to the wait staff.
Yep, they got first place trophy.
Yeah. To be fair, they did a great job serving my only fan. So.
Yeah. It was just you. You were there by yourself.
I ordered all of the drinks. Yes.
Perfect. That's,
I kept
sometimes you have
running.
to do that just to.
Yeah.
We've had shows here that were close.
I've done them. They're fun.
Oh,
I don't know. I've grown to love the small shows.
Yeah, they can.
I mean,
they
doing
can
the
be
theaters
nice.
in front of
They
like
can be
2,000
nice.
people is pretty dope. But also just, I don't know. Like I've done so many weekends in front of like 6 people, and I've learned to just love them. I love those so much.
Yeah, if you
embrace
get
them,
a 6 people that are there to laugh and into it, it can be great. I mean, for me personally at the club, it's not good, but
No, as an owner,
but
it's
as a
nightmare.
comic, I mean, if it's a good crowd, that's great.
Yeah.
Because with a lot of times when I host a weekend at the club, the reason I'm hosting is we're trying to keep from paying a host because it's not going to be a great weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm used to going up here in front of crowds of 6 or 8 people, in front
Gatherings,
in front of I guess meetings of 6 to 8 people and doing shows, and I have fun with it, and they're if they're fun shows, they're fun shows. But I did a couple times last year. I had Brian Swinehart asked me to host for him when he came through, and he had a lot of big shows, so it was really nice getting to perform in front of a full room at the club for a change.
Sure.
And I did do a guest set when Ryan Niemiller was into a sold-out crowd, and that was so much fun. But, it's when I get to perform in front of a bigger crowd than 6 or 8 people, it's always fun.
Well, and I've had the fortune of seeing some not just in comedians, but like I've seen musicians who are like high end and even professional wrestlers that are that have big contracts, but I've watched them work in like rooms of 50 or 40 people.
Yeah.
And the real pros have like a whole other way they work when it's intimate like that.
Right.
That's like a whole other experience. I watched Eddie Guerrero, who, if you're a wrestling fan, he was like one of the biggest. He died a few years back. But I watched him in a room with 35 people. It was right after he'd been injured, and he was working his ring rust out in Cincinnati. I got to watch him with 35 people. This guy who was on Monday Night Raw and stuff like that. And like, if you yelled out, he would like turn and yell back to you. But like when he works in front of 40,000 people, he doesn't do that. Because you can't. And I would assume it's very similar for a comedian. If you have 6 people, then you could do 5 minutes for a sixth of the crowd.
Right.
And really make their night and give them an experience that they may never have again if they ever see you again.
Right. Yeah. It's
And
definitely
that's
way
special.
more loose. It's way more loose when there's just a few people here because you're kind of reacting more to them rather than just doing your stuff, right?
Well, and I know from I've played music shows and do movie screenings and stuff where we have to talk that like my biggest fear if I go to a show and it's a low turnout and I'm sitting there is I am worried that the performer's not feeling it because they're disappointed. So when they come out and do something like that where they're treating the crowd kind of almost individually in a fun way, I end up having a really, really great time, and I'm much more likely to become a fan. Because the best way to judge any performer is by how they handle a not ideal show.
Right. Absolutely.
Because when you go out and there's 1,000 people, that's like the easy job. The hard job is showing up for the small crowds and keeping your enthusiasm up.
Right.
I've seen lots of comics. Seen lots of comics go up in front of 8 people and just mail it in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dude, that could have been 8 fans.
Yeah.
That could have been something,
All 8 of them seriously could have bought T-shirts or signed up for your mailing list, and they're going to care a lot more.
Right.
I mean, definitely. Because I've done movie screenings with 250 people. I've done movie screenings with, I think the smallest was like 7 That's not a lot of people in a movie theater that seats 150, 250 people.
Right.
But, you let them watch the movie, and then when they're walking out, you get to meet every person that just watched the movie. And if they enjoyed it, you really get to leave an impact of how much you appreciate that they sat and watched your movie.
Right.
And then, those are the people that are going to, find out what you're doing next on Facebook and be there for you. So I'm just happy to hear somebody with that attitude, because I'm big on, I have to be the best I can be in the worst of scenarios if I want to do well.
Right.
So good on you that you're ready to have a good time. I mean, that's the worst thing you can do is go on stage and not have a good time.
And just mail it in. I hate it. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Why would you
almost
waste
be better to
your
have a
time
bad
that way?
time than mail it in.
Well,
Like
it's kind of like this podcast. I've been mailing it in for 5 years now.
That's why you have one listener.
Right, exactly.
And it's you.
And it's me. I am that kind of narcissist that I download my own podcast after I upload it, just so I can listen to it.
Just so you can listen to it.
As the fans would if they were there.
And then you write hate mail.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You write yourself hate mail.
You should fire this son of a...
Dear stupid.
Yeah, I write to the programming director at the radio station.
Please
telling him
cancel Don's show.
I've been trying that for
Sincerely,
years,
Don
and they
Smith.
will not cancel me. I'm
They're
disappointed.
probably afraid to talk to you because you clearly have split personality disorder.
No, you ever see the TV shows where they're just like, he's got death threats. And they're like, what? Where's his hate mail? And they bring in that big trash bag full of hate mail, and they dump it out on the desk. I want to see Don do that.
Oh yeah,
big old trash bag. He dumps it on the desk, and one envelope comes flying down.
Yeah.
It's
to
from Don. From Don.
It's not a lot, but it's really vicious.
Yeah, it's
well,
this guy's got
it's
my
all
number.
email now. That's how you don't get hate mail like you used to. when you could carry it out in the big bag of
You
letters.
just
Now
dump
it's
the
just
bag
email.
and just a MacBook falls out and shatters on the table.
it's just screenshots from Facebook. Yeah.
It's not nearly as dramatic.
No,
it's disappointing is what it is. Yeah, because I want the big bag of hate mail. That's really, everybody wants a big bag of hate mail.
I think if you got a big bag of hate mail, you're doing something right.
Right, exactly.
No,
you're making a difference somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
In my experience,
You just hope that the love outweighs the hate. So if you have that much hate mail coming in, there's probably more people loving you. Hopefully, not
I'm
you.
hoping.
Not you.
Well, not me.
Well, not
obviously,
specifically
yeah,
Don
right.
at all. No.
Yeah, no, you're not a good example for this, but
I'm
you
not
get it.
for much of anything. Honestly, I'm not a really good example.
In my experience, hate mail and negative criticism comes from reaching a large audience. Because think about, as much as we in this room, we're all three very passionate people about certain things, whether it's comedy, movies, television, et cetera, et cetera. But how often do you write a glowing love letter about it? You might go to Facebook and tell your friends, like, you got to check out this thing.
Right.
But how often do you go on Amazon and really review it, unless that's just a part of your daily routine? But if you hate something, you're much more likely to say something.
Oh, yeah.
And so in my experience, when I did a movie called A Bulldog for Christmas, which was a talking dog movie, and much to my shock, a larger conglomerate in England bought it and started showing it on the Sony Movie Network. And I shot it on 2 weekends at my mother's house, but it was on Sony Movie Network at 11 in the morning, on the weekend. So all of a sudden, I'm on Amazon.co.uk reading just British people telling me to kill myself. And I'm like, what? What? But that's the thing, the movies that come out and they have a smaller niche, the smaller market, they tend to get a lot of love. And then that's it. And maybe one or two people are like, I don't like it. But then when the movie comes out in Walmart, that's when people are like, and they should all die. die. And it's misspelled each time.
Right.
But no, that's really so honestly, if you get hate mail, I think it's because you're just reaching a lot of people. Oftentimes, or you're truly terrible. And I don't mean terrible like a bad performer. I mean like a truly bad human being.
Right. You're
I'm
assaulting women and stuff.
Right.
That's your act. That's your act. You just have a woman come up and beat them and tell them that no one will believe them.
Oh, you've seen my show?
right.
Well, I YouTubed you before I got.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, yeah, you gotta check into who you're going on here with.
Is that why I'm sitting over here by myself?
The Gaslight
Yeah.
special right there.
Fantastic.
Well, that and you said you didn't wash your hands last night. So
Yeah, we're all
Or this
we're
morning.
keeping our distance.
Yeah,
right?
or this morning. So.
Or this morning. Yeah. It's Valentine's Day. It's lonely for some folks.
No, it's Valentine's week for me. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, so you're just you stay lonely longer, is what you're saying?
Yeah, no, it's pretty raw. So.
Yeah. Well, use more lotion. It won't be as raw.
It depends on the hotels he's being put up at.
That's
Some of them
true.
just don't
That's
provide
true.
enough lotion. You know,
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day they really should triple up the lotion. At the
Absolutely.
hotel. If there's one name, one key.
Yeah. You should get like just a gift basket of extra lotion and
That would
like
be nice.
Kleenex, mostly for the tears, actually. But
Yeah. No.
because they know it's a hotel room.
I put rose petals down and everything.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, you do it upright then.
Before
just because you're by yourself.
Before
there's
I
no
came
need
to the
not
show
be
last
impressive.
night, I set them up. You know what I mean? Going through the hallway.
Also, you could trace it when you got
yeah.
home.
So like
Oh.
I got back to the hotel last night and I was like, babe,
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
and the sock is just sitting on my bed, just I'm like, babe.
Been thinking about you. Except, however, Sock's voice is.
Right.
You know,
I think that was close.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a sock.
Oh no,
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
no, it's not.
Hey, how's it
not
going?
near as sexy. It is a black sock though, so it's probably a little bit more,
okay.
you know.
and then we went there.
Yeah.
There's your hate mail.
Yeah, perfect. So you came home and said, "Y'all ready for this?"
Yeah.
What's
up, baby? Get on the bed, bitch. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this gonna feel like somebody driving a truck up your.
The sock doesn't enter me. I don't know how you... Do you know how the socks work?
I don't think Don gets it at all.
No, I.
It has been used a lot. It's probably stiff.
Right.
Never mind.
Well, try it. You never know.
Give it a
You
few
never
more
know.
weeks.
give it a few more weeks. That thing's going to be solid. You build a house with that thing.
And maybe I was talking as you talking to the sock.
Oh,
Maybe I just gave you an extra.
I use
deep
a racial
voice
voice towards my black
Why not?
sock.
Why
Yeah.
not?
Part of your
It's role playing.
Your role play game.
It'd be my sock role play. We switch roles. He's a white tube sock during that scenario, and
Does it have the rings around at the top? Like
It
the
does,
old-
yeah.
It does now.
Perfect.
oh yeah, it does. Now.
Those are stains, but it's the
Those
same
are-
difference.
yeah, I mean they're yellow and brown. Don't worry about it. No, I have to use a baseball sock because you get. I'm huge.
because there's extra room on it. And,
Yeah,
and when
I have
one
more
place
room
stiffens,
to
you
use
can
it before I have to wash it.
perfect. Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect. Oh, well, yeah, it's you're conserving energy that way.
No.
Well, not your energy,
I'm
but
green.
the energy. What's that?
I'm super green.
That's why he never
Yeah.
washes it.
Yeah,
I
so
drive a
it's- so it's
hybrid and
green
everything.
and brown and yellow.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
I think before we go any further off the rails, I'm going to go ahead and take a little break and save this. And I'm going to pretend to play a song, even though I'm not really going to, but it'll be in there once I'm done.
I mean,
That's how-
if we believe it will play.
Yeah. We might hear music in our heads while we do this, but
the whole song.
we got time.
We have. This is going nowhere.
Yeah,
We got time.
exactly. So
You should play
Ray's,
one of my
Ray's
old
going to
bands.
sing us a song while we're off here.
Yeah, you want me to?
Not on the air because I don't want to lose me as a
You.
listener.
I'll stop listening.
yeah, I'll stop listening to this crap.
Everyone
You start
stopped
singing.
listening about a half hour in. It's crazy.
All right, we're going to take a little break, and we will be back here shortly with Henrik and Ray.
Merciless after
Hi, this is Haywood Banks at Wiley's Comedy Club in Dayton, and you're listening to the Life Radio Show at WWSU, Dayton's Right Choice.
All right. We ready to get started?
What song
again?
did you play?
We'll have to guess.
All right.
It's a mystery. We won't know until the podcast comes out, because I don't even know yet.
When I think about you, I touch myself. Oh. Is it
Oh,
something
okay.
like that?
You're talking about the song. All right. Hey, welcome back to the Life Radio Show.
You just started right there. Yeah.
Oh, it's
when
on
I
there.
think about you, I touch myself. Oh.
Welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in Wiley's Comedy Club showroom with my co-host, Henrik Couto.
Hey.
And our guest, Ray Hensley, all the way from Indianapolis.
All the way.
All the way.
The one city in Indiana, apparently.
Yeah.
That's just,
There's one city.
just the one. Yeah.
It's, Bargersville.
Bargersville?
That's where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
So we shot 2 movies in Indiana, and we literally shot them in a town called Farmland.
Nice.
So
A town called
literally
Farmland.
Farmland, Indiana.
That sums up Indiana.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I always thought that the guy who I knew who lived there, I always thought he was just being colloquial. You know, he was like, I live in Farmland, and then he would he called me and it said call coming in Farmland, Indiana. I was like, oh,
Nice.
that's like flat out. Okay, that's what it says on the map.
No, we have a Whitestown. We have a Brownsburg.
Yeah.
We have a White Land.
It's Indiana.
Yeah.
It's to be expected.
Yeah.
There's a lot of white.
Yeah, no, it's Indianapolis, Farmland, and then Whitestown and Brownstown.
Right.
Or Brownsburg. Brownstown? Either way.
Taking it to Browntown.
Yeah, taking him to Brownstown.
It always goes back to that here.
Yeah. I think we're real close to saying the N-word, and I can't wait.
Oh, Indianapolis? Yeah. So you guys are trying to bring it back?
We've already said it. No,
you guys have been saying it for years.
Yeah, well, we invented it, I think.
Probably not, but I'd say
we fought in the
close.
North.
Yeah.
Indianapolis. Indiana we were on the good side. I think Ohio was kind of, they were on the good side too, right?
No, yeah. It's
We're-
Kentucky that
we're-
was neutral.
We're north of that line. So,
Yeah, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
The worst.
Well, Kentucky didn't take the side of the South, but that's because Lincoln let them keep their slaves if they didn't pick a side.
Oh, nice.
It's good times.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a very clean cut and non complicated war right there.
Yeah, for Kentucky.
So, I've never heard that before. That's
There was a lot of
an interesting loophole.
Look into the diplomacy during the Civil War, and it's incredibly offensive because it was not moral at all. It was not about the morality of slavery. Really.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't mean to go into that. It's just, but if you look into it, it's very obviously they're like, no, we just really want to win the war and keep the Union. So yeah, you guys can have slaves.
Yeah.
We'll just
we've
economically
drawn a line with these guys.
Yeah,
we already told them no, and they said yes, we are.
We already told them we're destroying your economy. Screw you. But you guys, if you're on our side, just keep owning people for a little while longer. It's fine.
Yeah.
Did you ever see
Until you see fit to not.
I'm glad Lincoln's dead. I'm going to take that stance right now.
Jeez. John Wilkes Booth is a national hero in my book.
Yep. Welcome to the final episode of the Life Radio Show.
Yep, and we're getting canceled. So.
We're getting canceled or killed. One way, something bad's going to happen.
Surprised the FBI's not knocking on the door right now.
Yep, I think we've had.
I'll take it over the IRS any day. So
Oh yeah,
fine.
that's true. IRS is much more frightening.
The FBI is scary, but the IRS is a true psychopath. It's like they'll destroy themselves to get you. They don't care. It's I'll spend $10,000 to get $2,000 from you. Yeah. It's like I can't deal with that level.
And
of
they'll
psychosis.
destroy you a bit at a time, just piece by piece.
It's like a
Your
relationship.
whole life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like a marriage.
Yeah.
What's that like?
I don't
know. It's been a little while. Good times. Hey, should we hit some news stories? Or do we want to?
I like the dead air followed with a good times.
Yeah, every now and then you got to do that. Get married and then stop. And then, we're gonna go. We're going to go with a theme here, I guess. A black man seen wearing a Ku Klux Klan robe and hood at a Virginia shopping center Tuesday told sheriff's deputies he was performing a social experiment, according to authorities. The Stafford County Sheriff's Office was called to a Target store at the Stafford Marketplace around 2:30 p.m. to investigate reports of someone wearing the costume. Major Sean Kimmitz said in a video statement posted to social media, deputies found the person in a robe, identified him as a black man, and determined he didn't live in the area, he added. I don't know why all that's relevant, but deputies warned him about wearing a mask in public, and he left the scene, Kimmitz said. Virginia law prohibits wearing masks with the intent to conceal identity in public. That is a weird law.
Well, I guess that means you can wear a surgical mask.
Have you been to Virginia?
Good point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where Travis Charles is from.
Yeah.
They probably have those weird laws.
Isn't it
for a
almost
reason.
heaven?
And
Isn't that
most of it's
they're
in.
saying?
What's that?
In Virginia's saying almost heaven? That's West
It means
Virginia.
you're close to dead just by driving through.
Yeah.
there.
Because
Because
West
of
Virginia is
people
wild
with
and
masks.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't wear a mask to conceal your identity.
No.
So
okay. Batman is good luck on your own.
Yeah. Yep. I'm Bruce Wayne because I'm not allowed to tell you who I'm not. Weird. That's just dumb.
I think everyone in Virginia should cover their face with masks.
Yeah.
They're ugly.
Well, I think they.
Ouch.
I'm just kidding.
Well, it's just to hide their teeth, is really because.
Oh.
Which
I thought they used a
they've
bag
been
to
playing
hide
hide and seek with them for
I
years.
thought they used a bag to hide their teeth in. Yeah.
Yeah, but a cup with some. Okay. Only married couples can have sex according to a legal. Back to Virginia again. Wow.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah,
Today's
geez.
Florida.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
only married couples can have sex according to a legal loophole still on the books in Virginia. Democratic state legislators in the Virginia House of Delegates repealed the crime of fornication last week, in the state that has long used the slogan "Virginia is for lovers." Apparently not. To attract
That was Ohio's
tourists.
thing.
What's that?
Isn't that
I
Ohio's
thought
for
Ohio
lovers?
was for lovers. Yeah.
No, it's Ohio is like if you look at the sign out there, it says Ohio. Find it here. I don't know what they're looking for, but it's not here. I've
map.
looked. What's that?
A map to
My
get out
map?
of Ohio.
Yeah. That's the best thing to find, or heroin. That's.
I mean, that's easier to find. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Currently, fornication is a Class 4 misdemeanor and carries a fine of up to $250.
That makes it really hot.
Yeah, yeah.
When
That's
it's, like when
yeah.
it's that level of a crime.
when it's
that's
that
pretty
much of
hot.
a risk.
Yeah, yeah. We can we can pay a fine for this. We're doing it anyway.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Don would have to
if
pay
you pick
twice.
up the tab for the fine, is that prostitution? What's that?
Yeah, it said you'd have to pay twice.
Yeah, there's
Prostitution
both
fee
sides
and
of it.
the
Yeah.
and the fine.
Yeah. Thanks, Ray. It's a stupid law. It's crazy, Democratic delegate Mark Levine, who introduced HB 245, said no one should think they can be prosecuted for this common practice. The Virginia Supreme Court
Referring to sex as a
apparently
common
says
practice.
it's a common practice. You got to practice.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I wish it was a common practice.
Well, for some of us, Ray.
Me and my sock, it's a common.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that would be illegal in Virginia, too.
Probably.
Yep. The Virginia Supreme Court struck down the law in 2005 as, quote, unconstitutional government intrusion, though it remains in the Code of Virginia. So they ignored the Constitution on that one.
Well, they have like a lot of weird laws in most states, and people are like, "It's illegal to do this still," and I'm like, just because it used to be doesn't mean they still.
If
Yeah, it's not
it's still on
enforced.
the books.
Do you want them to
yeah.
spend millions of dollars to unpass that law? It's like, no, just ignore that it was there and just keep moving.
Well, it's like the sodomy laws. They're not enforced. Some of the ones that are still in the books, they're not. But they're not enforced. Like,
Why do you know that so well?
Yeah.
Why do I know it? Oh, because let me tell
You
you,
can
something.
sodomize a 15. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Gee, went a little dark there. Yeah. It's Valentine's Day, memories. that are
right.
keeping
I don't think
me-
this was
Right,
gonna go on the
it's
air.
it's Valentine's Day, so sodomy you shouldn't have to be forced.
Yeah,
You should, in prison, sodomy's enforced.
well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, there are a lot of laws like those that just because it's how would you enforce it is the answer. Like, how would you enforce a fornication law? There aren't cops
Right.
in the bedrooms watching,
Right.
although that sounds hot too. But they're not. So it's one of those clearly stupid, outdated, unenforced laws.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if laws just had an expiration.
Yeah,
Would be
so
nice.
they don't enforce it; they just like observe and report. That's what
It's like mall police,
right, mall cops. Those are the ones hanging out between the sheets.
They're just like, yep, they're screwing, and they just drive off in their Segways.
I think what we need to crack down on first is the police officers in that state that are having sex out of wedlock.
Exactly.
'Cause that, I mean,
Yeah.
that's like,
if you're ever going to enforce it, you have to start with them.
yeah, damn right.
Yeah,
What about the
we'll get there.
lawmakers?
What's that?
What about the congressmen and the
They
lawmakers?
they never get punished for anything.
Oh, no,
At least
no,
cops
no.
have a vague chance of getting punished.
No, they aren't married to any of us, and they've been screwing us for years.
It's well played, well played.
Look at him go. You gonna write that one down?
Yeah, I'm going to use that one.
You should.
Scientists have discovered a dinosaur that is a close relationship to Tyrannosaurus rex and is nicknamed the Reaper of Death. That's a great name for a dinosaur. That's
Or a band when you're 16 in
yeah,
high school.
That's true. Reapers of Death.
Yeah. Every
the
metal
animal
band.
was 26 feet long and a relative of T-Rex, researchers said. It's called, holy crap. Why do I do this to myself?
I'm ready.
Thanatotherister. I'm not. No, that's the first.
you just
First
have a
word
list?
is Greek
I
for
think he
Reaper
had
of
a
Death.
stroke.
Yeah, I'm okay. It is also named after John and Sandra de Groot, who were apparently Reapers of Death themselves. I don't know why it's named after them.
Why would they
That's
just not
kinda
call
weird.
it DeGrootosaurus?
Well, de Grootorum is the last. The full name. Let me try it again. Thanatotheristes de Grootorum.
Jeez, I can see a vein popping out your head.
That's not my head. Anyway,
Is there really just that many THs and stuff in there, or can you not just say your S's?
that's none of your business, Ray. It's named after John and Sandra DeGroot, the couple who found the fossils on the shore of the Bow River in Alberta, Canada. The discovery was made by a team of researchers from the University of Calgary and the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology. It is the oldest tyrannosaur species ever found in Canada. That's exciting news. Why did I just get rid of that shit?
Canada's killing it. You ever met one of these boobs that doesn't believe in dinosaurs?
Are there boobs that don't believe in dinosaurs?
Yeah, it was a religious thing.
Yeah,
because it's like a lie told to mislead us or something.
Yeah, to help control us or some stupid thing.
Or to
I worked with a guy
It's the work of the devil is what it is.
I used to work with a guy who believed that the Earth was flat and that dinosaurs weren't real. And I was like, "You kidding me, dude?" Like I jokingly was like,
"It's in Indiana."
Like watching like a news report on my phone. I'm just like, "These people think the Earth is flat. Can you believe that?" And he's like, "It is." I'm like, "Oh, you're for serious? That's not good." That's
like me sitting around going, looking at my phone, going, "These people think voting is going to do something."
It's not.
No, you don't.
I got to tell you, you got to be careful with science stories. So I got hired to be the voice of this like listicle channel on YouTube as their voice guy, and I was like, man, this is going to be fun, and it is fun, and you're supposed to read with high energy, but then like half the lists are scientific in nature, like, animal breeds and stuff like that, and you have to drop their like family breeds. So I'm sitting there like, Trochtididdity, and then when I read it, I have to not only say Trochtididdity, but I have to say it like I love it, and it's just a part of my day. It's just, they're a part of the Trochtididdity family, and it has been fast, and they just sent me my next list, and it's the top 10. It's the top 10 Korean films. And I'm like, this is going to be a long day in the voice booth. Trying to pronounce all these foreign names.
Yeah. Number 10. Paka taka paka paka. That got racist real quick.
That was wicked racist.
Anyway, just so you know, the episode title for this show is Trochtididdity Day.
Yes, Trochtididdity Day.
Which is now the day after Valentine's Day. It's Trochtididdity Day.
I don't think they probably didn't hear the racist stuff you said, because that hood really makes it hard for them to hear you through the mic anyway.
That's true.
No, that's true.
So,
yeah.
You can't wear that in Virginia, by the way, because it hides your identity.
You think it'd be like encouraged in Virginia?
Yeah, you would think. But again, that's where you get down to where it's the government officials that don't have to obey the laws, so they're going to do it.
They're all wearing masks and banging each other all day long.
Exactly. They're masked fornication. That's the Virginia Supreme Court, right?
That's a real band
all those
name.
masks
right
come with
there.
zippers on them.
Those are not to conceal identity. Those are just because it's hot.
Yeah.
I'm writing down masked fornication. Too many good show titles so far. Trochtididdity Day. When it comes to Valentine's Day, the biggest issue is normally whether or not you remember to buy a sock for your or a card for your sock. I was thinking that I was going to make it, and then I screwed it up. However, one woman has been having problems this year, all thanks to the card she didn't even purchase. A 24-year-old woman named Paige has taken to Twitter to reveal an awkward situation she recently found herself in, all thanks to a greeting card company called Moonpig. She claimed Moonpig. Sorry, just love that name. If I ever had a greeting card company, it would be called Moonpig. I can understand that.
That'll do, Moonpig.
That'll do, Moonpig.
She claimed Moonpig had sent her a Valentine's card addressed to a man named Michael, a card that she did not order. Her boyfriend, who is not named Michael, came across the card and became suspicious that she might be cheating on him. Yeah, she is. She's just making this whole Moonpig thing up.
Yep. Just
Michael,
like Mary.
Yep, Michael
like,
Moonpig.
oh, this must be God's baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this episode's going to go over well in
Oh,
Indiana.
no, that baby has
yeah,
Moonpig's eyes. I think Mary's lying. Damn
Baby.
you, Moonpig!
Was it South Park's The Man Bear Pig?
Man, Bear Pig, yeah.
Jeez. Damn
Oh,
you,
I'm super
damn you
serious.
Moonpig is another great
That's a
episode
great title.
We're gonna have to. This one's gonna have to be a vote.
It's gonna be like a Rocky and Bullwinkle thing. You have like
You're gonna have some dud episodes. Most of them are gonna be dud
have
episodes.
to take these.
You
I
can
have
use
to take
those
these
for those.
titles
Yeah.
for it? No, every one of my episodes is fantastic. Ray,
Crickets again.
trust me, I'm the only one listening. I know. I click
fan.
like on every one. I'm that guy. Man, there's a lot of it's after Valentine's Day. Well, it's Trochtididdity Day, but there are a lot of cheating women stories on here, or cheating people stories. A woman is
Were you
forced to tell.
Googling out of anger when you prepared for this?
Could have been.
Yeah.
Sometimes I Google angrily. And I could hate Google. A woman may be forced to tell her best friend she believes her husband is cheating after spotting him at the antenatal ward with a pregnant woman. The mom-to-be was at the hospital for her appointment when she noticed her pal's partner with a visibly pregnant young lady and said the pair were acting like a couple, probably fighting. Yeah, they were arguing about, utility bills. She was completely shocked and has no idea how to break the news to her friend, so she took to the parenting website Mumsnet for advice, reports the Liverpool Echo. So this is a British story.
Of course.
Under the title, Seeing Friend's Darling Husband and Antenatal with Other Woman, she wrote, just returned from my antenatal appointment. And she's antenatal.
What's antenatal?
That's just when you don't want kids at all, but you got them anyway.
Oh.
You're antenatal.
Are you pro-antenatal or...
Yeah. Are you pronatal?
Or are you anti-antenatal?
I'm anti-naval.
The way you set that up, I just got back from my antenatal. I thought you were going to say, "Boy, are my arms tired." Like it was just you had that was going in.
While waiting in the room, I saw one of my oldest friends' dear husband with a young lady. So yeah, something's going down there. He's got a secret family that he doesn't want anybody to know about.
See, I feel like
she's going to ruin it on Twitter.
See, and I feel like that's what we're really missing out on. Is like in the old days, there were so many great bigamists, and now there's like none.
Yeah,
it's like it's a real bummer.
It's like you don't even have to lead a double life anymore.
It's like that's like so exciting. Like where's the secret families and stuff like that?
Right.
I mean, like we had one in my family. I don't want to say exactly who, but I mean, like, well, in like the 40s, before I was around. But we had a bigamist, guy who like later on it was like actually he has a whole other family in Kentucky, and yeah, it's like you don't hear those stories anymore. What
was that? The old horror movie? What's the
Stepfather? Yeah.
Stepfather? Yeah, you remember those?
Oh, those were great.
He would like go and marry another family and kill them and stuff.
Terry O'Quinn. Well, he killed them when they weren't perfect. He would just get angrier and angrier, and then he'd kill them, and he'd start establishing a new identity before he killed them. That was like the best. Like he would start gluing on a mustache and going the town over and applying for jobs with the new identity. Those two, the first two, are really good. Stepfather 1 and 2.
See, that's a bad thing. We're all too traceable now.
Yeah,
it's so much more difficult to assume a new identity these days.
Overall, connected and everything, right?
What's
the
that?
Kevin Bacon theory.
Right.
Yeah.
The rule of 6 or whatever.
Well, no, just everything's computerized. I mean, I guess if
Including
you're good, absolutely. Bacon's been computerized long ago.
I bet you could shave your beard right now and nobody would know who you were.
Yeah, but still, I'd be traceable.
I'm Ron Smith, and like, no way.
It's funny you should say
it's one letter off.
It's funny you should say that. There are some of the facilities I maintain where they call me Ron because they just don't want to look at my name tag, I guess. I wear a badge that has my name on it, and she still calls me Ron. So I haven't corrected her. I just like I'm good, and everybody else in that facility knows my name's Don. And every time she calls me Ron, they all giggle and they're like, "Why don't you correct her?" I was like, "Because if I ever do something to make her mad, she's going to report Ron. And they don't know who the hell he is."
I think your employees of your comedy club should know your name.
I never told them.
Please ignore the man behind the curtain.
Like you said, I just showed up one day with a Wiley's T-shirt and told them I owned the place. They
Sup,
believed
guys?
it ever since that was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, would I have really bought into this?
You have to be an idiot.
And I am. I love it here.
This is a cool place.
It is.
Yeah, it's a rad joint.
It's a wonderful place.
You should come see the show tonight if you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Tim Kavanaugh is hilarious.
Yeah, his opener's terrible, but yeah.
Oh
Tim
yeah,
Kavanaugh's
his
good.
his opener is just
trash.
Yeah, so show up late. You'll miss most of it.
Shows at what 7:15. Show up at 7:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we're going to have. The first show is going to be packed. We got more than we had last night for the first show right now.
Sweet.
Pre-sold. And that was checking at what time we get here, noon. So, yeah. It's going to be good shows tonight. It's going to be good shows.
Yeah,
this won't go out
Yeah,
before
yeah.
then.
I was like,
this
stop
will go out,
selling.
like,
It's
Tuesday.
If you call in
And
right
then,
now, you will win free
Right.
tickets to Tim Cavanaugh's show.
Right. I think this will go out Tuesday, so you still have time to get in to see Haywood. Haywood Banks is coming this next weekend. So
Yeah.
I think we need to change tactics. Man, what an incredible show that was.
it was
Right?
Yeah,
It was, I mean,
it
one of the
was.
best.
It was great. It
But
was great.
but I
Wow,
bet Haywood
Tuesday
Banks could be even
already.
better.
Yeah.
Still
Man.
feels like Saturday afternoon.
It does.
Crazy.
It does. Well, when you do great shows like that, it tends to just make time seem like it's
Time's
just
fun when you're having
advances.
flies. Am I
Yeah.
right, guys?
Time,
Medically, it was just like a stroke.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
You have somebody coming
romantically,
here,
it was a little bit like a stroke too.
Oh man, back to the sock we go.
Who do you have coming here March 13th and 14th?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess we're close enough to the end. We can start promoting again.
You
We
don't
can
have to
skip
do that.
out the news
You don't
stories
have to do that.
because you have a show coming up here.
Yeah. I'll be
another one where you're not just featuring
right. I'll be
or
co-headlining.
hosting. You're hosting and featuring this weekend. So just
Right.
so you know, we're paying you as a host.
That's fine. No, that's fair. I get it. I'm surprised you guys are
We're
even
actually
paying.
paying you as a wait staff.
Right.
After what I did yesterday, surprised you're even
Right.
paying.
But
me.
we're taking your tips. So
Yeah.
we're splitting that up between the rest of us here. So.
It's perfect. Perfect. No, yeah, March 13th and 14th. I'll be here with my buddy Wyatt Cote. He's a guy that I met doing the World Series of Comedy.
Yes.
Nice.
He's a fantastic comic. This will be our second weekend working together, and he's going to come out here and work with me that weekend. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very good time. And then Derek James is going to come out and host.
Okay. I know the name. I know
Derek,
I've
you met him
before,
at
yeah.
Joker's.
Okay.
He's
yeah.
he's the one that always wears the stupid orange Florida hat. He's kind
I
of
don't-
fat and pudgy. He talks about the Titanic and stuff. He talks about.
Oh, okay.
You probably know. You know him if you saw him.
Yeah, probably.
He's
would,
he's a good dude.
Okay.
Terrible comic. Good dude though.
Well, that's kind of like that Ray Hensley. Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible dude. Okay, comic.
See, it evens out, you know.
I always tell Derek he wants to be me so bad he's even starting to put on the weight.
So, Henrik, I'll go ahead and if you have anything that you want to.
Sure. You know, I haven't since I've last been on your show. I haven't been able to plug the podcast I'm running now. So
Oh,
it might be a good time to do that since if they're listening to if you're listening to this,
Right.
then,
Yeah,
you know.
I'll definitely tune in.
Yeah. But I'm now running two podcasts. One is called Weekly Spooky, which is at weeklyspooky.com, and it's a horror short story narration show. So basically, you get a minute of introduction, and then you get a scary story. They're all generally original stories written by some writers I work with. They run between 20 and 30 minutes, and they range from super weird and scary to gross to sometimes funny. We already have 16 episodes out, so
Wow.
there's a whole backlog to listen to, and that's it's been growing really quick. I'm really excited about it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm like a really poor reader. But reading out loud is really easy for me, so it's been really fun to this is the most I've read in my entire life, reading these stories every week. And then the other show is a show I do with my friend Michelle, which is kind of more of a traditional talk show called This Show is Awkward, which is at awkwardshow.com, or you can just search either of those titles at any podcast app. Because I decided, it wasn't enough to make movies all the time. It wasn't enough to run a Patreon all the time making shorts for it. It wasn't enough to
Right.
do the Popcorn Fodder TV series. I needed 2 weekly podcasts.
Right.
Just
right.
really important.
I'm
to do that.
thinking of starting a second one.
I think you should. I think if you have any less than 3 podcasts,
And then
you're-
buying another
you're really-
club.
You need another club.
and taking a second job. And
I think
what
you ought
else?
to open up a club on top of this one.
Dude,
Be your own competition. You know what I mean?
Right. That would be great.
Yeah.
you could call
We'll
it.
show them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
call it funny on
Same
top.
no same
Play tricks on each other.
same name and
try to-
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. I'm going to
In
play
fact,
Wiley.
upstairs,
Which
it's just
one?
a giant
Yeah.
curved mirror
I'm here to
that just
see.
shows downstairs.
I'm here to see Ray Hensley. He's like, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you want-
sorry.
You got to go to the other
Yeah,
location.
can you tell me where that is? Nope.
You got to go to the other
I will
location.
not.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna
those
go.
bastards
here. You can
business.
stay here and watch.
So to get
one
to
of
the
our
other
shows.
Wileys, you're gonna go down this street.
Yeah.
You're gonna take a left, and then take another left, and take another left, and you're gonna come right back into this parking lot, and then go upstairs.
Go upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, no, you'd go downstairs.
I would be on the
because,
downstairs
you'd be
stage.
playing.
I wouldn't be on the
You'd be
new
playing
one.
lower Wileys.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Yeah, I would.
You haven't earned upper Wileys.
Yeah, I'm not quite there
Is
yet.
that like an upper decker? The upper Wiley?
The upper Wileys?
Yeah, we're playing the upper Wileys this week.
But yeah,
well,
a couple of
go ahead.
podcasts that if they want to check them out, and then of course I talked about the movie stuff at the beginning. So if people want to check that out, they can go to my website and find all of that, which is the greatest web address I've ever managed to register, which is incrediblyhandsome.com. If you go to incrediblyhandsome.com,
I know
and find all
Ray's
of
been trying to get that one.
No,
too,
that's
and
why
it's
that was
just,
taken. Wow, that's
yeah,
small world, huh?
exactly, yeah.
I had to go with incrediblyhandsome.org. It's unfortunate.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in. Ray, you're going to stick around.
Oh, I'll
we
be
got
here.
we got more with you.
Oh, okay.
We aren't
So-
finished with you yet, Henrik.
Oh, Lord.
But
Okay.
Ray, we're going to go ahead and kick you out. Do you have any social media you want to throw
Just
out
at
there?
Ray
or you
Hensley
just-
Comedy on everything,
on everything.
on pretty much everything. I don't do Twitter. So
Why not?
'cause
What do you
it's-
have against Twitter?
It's just
I'm just kidding. It's dead.
They banned
I don't
him
really
for
have a
what
whole
he
lot of
said.
political views, or I'm not trying to save the oceans or anything like that. So I don't really have anything to say on Twitter.
So you
Oh, okay.
hate the ocean. This
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
really care about them.
Yeah. Well,
We're,
to hell with
I
the
mean,
ocean.
we drink water, but that's undrinkable. Get out of here.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
something going on there that I don't like.
But one of those
you need a
conspiracies.
whole set on just on ocean denial. That has become the thing you defend.
Yeah, I don't believe the oceans are real.
Right.
Yeah, you
And
can't go in there. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. And
There's
if the
parts of
Earth
it we don't
wasn't-
even
and
know
if the
about.
Earth wasn't flat, if the Earth wasn't flat, it all would have run off the side anyway.
Right. Yeah. Well, you got the ocean wall, or the
Oh, okay.
ice
Is there-
walls all the way around it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering if you just fell off the end.
yeah.
yeah.
No, we
Did
made
you-
the flat earthers pay for it.
Okay. Well, that's
Ooh, topical, real quick.
all right. All right. Well, that's it for this episode.
Thanks,
we're going to be
guys.
back here shortly
Thank
with
you.
some more. So stick around. I mean, not literally. Just listen to the next episode.
Don,
'cause
just
this is,
keep
this
listening.
is-
Yeah, don't
Please, Don,
Yeah.
keep listening.
Yeah, please, me. If you're listening to me,
don't skip
keep
to the
me
next one
listening,
because
yeah.
you want to stay on this one, Don.
Because I get so lonely when I'm not listening to myself. All right. All right. That's enough. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we are on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM. You can also stream the show live at WWSU1069.org, and we go Facebook Live at the Life Radio Show's Facebook page. If you have suggestions or comments, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
I don't know what they're looking for, but it's not here. I've
map.
looked.